Atlanta, 11Alive at 5 starts now.
Another robbery of a Georgia Tech student, the 7th since the start of this year. Tonight, why APD's police chief is taking responsibility for it.
Plus, thousands of you have shared the story of a Good Samaritan who ended up in handcuffs after saving a woman's life. Now tonight, breaking news as the charges are dropped.
But first, we are also following breaking news right now in southeast Atlanta as the GBI investigates a police shooting. Sky Tracker is live over the scene near South River Industrial and Forest Park Road. Atlanta police say it appears a suspect was shot, but they are not saying how badly he or she was injured in this shooting.
You may not be familiar with that area, but let's give you the details. It's just west of Moreland Avenue, right around the corner from Waters Elementary. We do have a team working to get more information for you. We can also tell you that we know that no officers were injured in this breaking news story. 11alive.com, the place to go for more information.
All right, some news that we mentioned at the very beginning of our broadcast. Charges being dropped against a retired fire chief who saved a woman's life. This happened in Pike County. This
story is pretty stunning. It's a story of a handcuffed hero, and it's been one of our most clicked headlines on our website since the story first aired last week. 11Alive investigator Brendan Keefe has been digging into the story for weeks. Brendan, this is precisely the action the viewers have been begging for online.
That's right, Melissa and Jeff. This is because of you. All charges dropped against Rick Rickerson, the retired battalion chief from Griffin Fire Department who saved a woman's life. Her name is Becca Buchanan. Let's take a look at some of the video, and you'll remember the story we showed you right after the Super Bowl. It's been shared hundreds of thousands of times online with the views, tens of thousands just on my own Facebook page. There you see the pictures of the crashes that this battalion chief had rescued so many lives. The last life he saved, though, landed him in handcuffs. There's the state trooper arguing with him. He ends up taking him away in handcuffs, charging him with obstructing an officer for refusing to move his vehicle and instead staying with his patient, who by all accounts, he saved her life and got her breathing again. I have just in the last few minutes received this release and dismissal from the district attorney in Griffin. That's the Griffin Judicial Circuit, which includes Pike County. And it says all charges are dismissed in large part because of your reaction. One witness indicated emotions were high between everyone on the scene, which is natural given the events were taking place. All witnesses interviewed were in agreement that the actions of Mr. Rickerson helped save the accident victim's life. And when asked if Mr. Rickerson was guilty of obstructing an officer, one witness said specifically, well, he was belligerent with the trooper and didn't move his vehicle, but I wouldn't find him guilty because he helped save this woman's life. The DA goes on to say that the public doesn't decide these cases, but that the public's response and all the calls and all the response on social media forced him to take a closer look at the case. And because of our story, tonight, all charges against that retired fire chief are dropped.
Brendan, good news. Good news that common sense has ruled through all of this as well. We appreciate the information. A call for action tonight after another Georgia Tech student is robbed. This occurring just hours after Atlanta police said it was stepping up efforts to try to curb this crime spree. Now, that makes 7 robberies since the beginning of January. And tonight, parents and community members are expressing a lot of concern on our Facebook page. Linda's suggesting that students carry weapons, guns, to protect themselves from these crimes that are happening again and again. Celine says Tech is her son's dream school, but now they're second-guessing whether he should go there. She is imploring APD to step it up. So can anything more be done to keep the students safe? Chris Hopper is holding the school and the Atlanta Police Department accountable this evening. Chris?
Jeff, I'll tell you, you don't often hear police chiefs speak as candidly and openly as we did Erica Shields today. Atlanta's police chief is taking full responsibility for this rash of armed robberies, and tonight she is promising Georgia Tech students that she will get it under control.
At APD, we could have done better.
And open and honest Atlanta Police Chief Erica Shields in front of TV cameras at City Hall today.
Robberies in the Tech area are cyclical. We go through this every 3 or 4 years, and the department failed to respond quickly and severely enough when we had our first couple in that area.
Those words follow the 7th armed robbery of Georgia Tech students in the Home Park neighborhood since the start of the year. The latest at 2:30 this morning.
And starting tonight, the department will have the Georgia Tech issue in its radar, and you will see a variety of initiatives implemented to offset what's occurring there.
APD has already partnered with Georgia Tech Police and GSP. There are thousands of mobile cameras, police presence is being stepped up, and Georgia Power is assessing the lighting in the area. But without going into too much detail, Shields says more will be done.
We will rein this in. We are going to make arrests, and we are going to change the narrative in this area.
And her message to fearful Georgia Tech students tonight?
Things shouldn't be happening like this at 6:30 and 7:30 at night now. So I would encourage the students to go about their lives, be aware of their surroundings, but no, I wouldn't recommend anybody walking around anywhere at 3 in the morning.
And Shields believes this is gang-related, and she says they will be making arrests soon. But she's also putting some of the blame here on the Fulton County court system. More on that coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Jeff?
Well, to read the school statement on the latest round of robberies, you can head to 11alive.com. You can also find a map there showing exactly where these crimes have happened.
Look at the video, and here's the question. Can you imagine surviving a crash like this one? The driver of this car flipped over, trapped inside after another vehicle hit it head-on into Cobb County, and then that driver took off. Tonight, the female victim is still hospitalized, and police have no clues to go on. 11Alive's Latasha Givens spoke with the victim's family tonight. Latasha?
Well, Melissa, the family says they got a call from a woman who saw the crash, heard the crash, and saw their daughter trapped inside. She ran over to help and grabbed the victim's cell phone and dialed the number that was listed as Mommy.
Getting there and seeing the car flipped upside down, my heart sank. Seeing her and covered in blood, her hand is bleeding.
Hanging upside down and struggling to get out.
She was trying to stick her hand out the window to let them know, hey, I'm in here, and all she heard was the tires screeching off.
Biblica and Jay Huff say their daughter, Chardonnay Sims, was hit by another driver around 4 a.m. Tuesday on New Snapfinger Woods Road near Wesley Chapel. She was on her way to pick up a co-worker, then head to work at Krispy Kreme, not far away.
She said the car was swerving on the opposite side of the road and hit her on the driver's side, and it flipped her car into the railing.
The family says the driver sped away, leaving her with several lacerations and nerve damage that will require immediate surgery.
It's just very inhumane for someone to just leave someone on the side of the road, no matter what was going on, whether they was drunk, whether they was on drugs, whether they didn't have any insurance, you just left her. So I'm very frustrated with that.
The Huffs hope someone saw something that could help police.
This could happen to someone else. That person is still out there on the road.
Yes.
Not knowing how many times this have happened, and it needs to stop before they seriously injure or kill someone.
And the family says Chardonnay had surgery this afternoon to correct nerve damage to her hand, and we're told that surgery was successful. Anyone with information on this crash, contact police.
Latasha, thank you. Tonight, a DeKalb County community on high alert as police are searching for this man who abducted a teen as she walked to school. The school district sent a letter home to parents explaining what happened near Miller Grove High School. The letter is stressing that students need to remain vigilant walking to and from school. It also says that extra patrols would be on hand today around the school. Police say the suspect forced the 14-year-old student into his car, then drove off. Later, let her go near the high school. She was not injured, not hurt, but 3 other students say a man that fits this same description approached them in December. Here's another look at the man's sketch. We have also posted it on our Facebook page so you can share it with your friends and help police get this man off the streets.
New tonight, a man is now charged with vehicle homicide after Cobb County police say he hit a moped and dragged the rider down the street. This is Willie Frank Rainey's mugshot. The accident happened back on January 29th on South Cobb Drive. The victim died at the hospital. That identity of the rider has not been released.
New at 5, the National Weather Service now says it looks like a weak tornado may have hit Bremen yesterday. Our team was out there after the storm knocked some trees over on an apartment building and then blew a trampoline onto a car. The good news, it doesn't sound like anybody was seriously injured. It could have been much worse given the amount of damage that we have been able to see in this video.
Chris, I know you've been in contact with the National Weather Service today as well, which had some crews out there surveying the other two areas.
Yeah, they're also looking at some areas down in Heard County and also into Talbot County, which is south and west of Macon. They'll be releasing those official reports a little bit later. So far, they've just given us that preliminary information that the one in Bremen was a weak tornado, and we're looking a little bit later to get that information on whether or not it was an EF0 or an EF1. So we'll have more on that online as well as on air later on tonight. Meanwhile, how did you like these temperatures today with plenty of sunshine? 58 degrees is our temperature right now. We topped off in the upper 50s. Some folks had some lower 60s around. 60 in Peachtree City, 62 in LaGrange on the north side, mostly some 50s around. But check out Gainesville, you're at 60. Athens, also at 60 degrees right now. In Rome, we are looking west at a beautiful day, and we're going to see a nice sunset tonight around 6:15, 6:16 tonight. As you can see, that sun getting closer to the horizon. We won't see any clouds around for now, but tomorrow is going to be the day with the transition when we see more clouds that are going to be building in. So here's what we're watching tonight with the mainly clear skies. Once the sun goes down, we will watch these temperatures falling, cooling off. We'll hold in the 50s through about 7 o'clock tonight, then drop into the 40s until we get to about 10 o'clock. And then after that, that's when we move into the 30s. We'll drop down into those upper 30s for the overnight. Start off tomorrow morning there in the mid-30s as well. So we do have the changes, though, that are on the way as we head into tomorrow. Enjoy the clear skies tonight. The sunny start early in the morning, but check this out. Some clouds. These are coming in from the south, and that's where the rain is going to come from, too. We'll let you know our best chances of seeing some rain and whether or not the weekend is going to be considered a washout. More on that a little later.
Thank you, Chris. The markets are now closed. The Dow took another dive today, dipping more than 1,000 points as trading wrapped up about an hour and 10 minutes ago now. Experts are saying this 4% drop was due to the rising fears over rising interest rates. Today's loss, the second largest single-day drop in history, eclipsed only by Monday when the Dow lost more than 1,100 points.
Tonight, competition officially underway at the Winter Olympics in South Korea, Pyeongchang, but an opening ceremony flag flap is stealing some of the thunder. Cheryl Preheim is on assignment in South Korea. She will be back to explain.
The distance from where I'm standing to the North Korean border. Yes, the distance from where I'm standing to the North Korea border is 50 miles. It's like driving from Atlanta to Gainesville, Georgia. Okay, thank you.
The Olympic Games are underway in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Here we go. They kicked off with the curling late last night and figure skating, freestyle skiing. It really gets going tonight.
Yes, and the opening ceremony is in fact tomorrow, and Cheryl Preheim is on the other side of the world where it's already tomorrow. It's early. Good morning, 7:15 in the morning. Are you as cold today as you were yesterday?
Oh my goodness.
The day started at -3, but the sun is coming up, so it will get warmer by the moment. And it is opening ceremony day here in Pyeongchang, so there are a lot of athletes already in Athlete Village. We've seen a lot of visitors from many parts of the world already within the park. Today, though, there is some tension within Team USA, and that's something I've not seen in the 4 Olympics I've covered, and that's the story we start with as we take you around the rings. We know that American luger Erin Hamlin will be carrying the flag and walking in front of Team USA for opening ceremony. She's been selected, but not everybody's happy about it. Speed skater Shawnee Davis tweeted his displeasure at the selection. He tied with Hamlin on the vote, so it went to the flip of a coin. He tweeted his accomplishments, followed by, quote, Team USA dishonorably tossed a coin to decide its 2018 flag bearer. No problem. I can wait until 2022. Hashtag Black History Month 2018. Then a teammate of Erin Hamlin tweeted, calling him a sore loser. That tweet has now been deleted. The Olympic torch is getting close. It's slowly making its way toward the Pyeongchang Olympic Stadium and the opening ceremony. The past week, the flame has been touring the northeast of the Republic of Korea, a great tradition, and you can see the official lighting on NBC tomorrow at 8 o'clock. A scare for the U.S. bobsled team. Pilot Justin Olson made it safely to South Korea and then had to have an emergency appendectomy here at a local hospital. This all happening just 2 days before the team is supposed to start training on ice. He says he hopes he'll be ready to go. He's been very active on social media, thanking everyone for well wishes. Thankfully, they have 10 days now before the first competition. We're going to have a chance to talk to the bobsled team in just about an hour. We're going to head to the venue up in the mountains. We'll talk to Alana Myers-Taylor, of course, from Douglasville, and Chris Kinney, who made his first Olympic team. He is a graduate of Stockbridge High School. Chris will be in opening ceremony. Alana just decided she will not. This is a change up for her. She's decided she wants to rest her body. She doesn't want to be on her feet for the 4 or 5 hours it takes for opening ceremony, because for her, anything short of gold here would be a disappointment. When you watch opening ceremony along with about 1 billion other people in the world, you're going to be seeing the work of an American whose job it is to make these kind of events as big and spectacular as possible.
At the Olympic Stadium in Pyeongchang, South Korea,
a long haul.
U.S. resident Neil Dreyer,
very long way from home,
is thousands of miles from home. He's working on the 2018 Winter Olympic Stadium to help get opening ceremony
do what's called theatrical automation.
Off to a flying start.
You know, flying performers, flying scenery.
If you watch the 2014 Winter Olympic opening ceremony in Russia, you've seen Neil's work in Fisht Stadium.
A massive show with a lot in the air at any given time.
It's a place where he made great memories and a great friend, adopting one of the Sochi dogs and bringing it home to the U.S.
I had to name her where I found her, and that's Fisht, which was the name of the Olympic Stadium.
And while he probably won't adopt another pet here in South Korea,
I've been advised against it by my family and friends.
What he's sure to do is put on a great show.
He does a show that represents them.
Many Americans are in this country now working to make these Olympics unforgettable.
I think this is going to be a really enjoyable show.
And to plan this big party takes a lot of time. On paper, the work's been happening for years. He actually arrived here in Pyeongchang in November and won't go home until March. So we're really looking forward to the day here, you guys, and it's good to hear your voices. I miss seeing you.
You know, Cheryl, I am really struck after spending about 8 days in zero climate of Minneapolis, how marvelous you look, how incredibly terrific you sound, how spry you are, and what a dead man I was in Minnesota for 7 days comparatively. You are really doing well in the cold.
I agree with everything you said about her, but your performance was stellar too. So.
Well, you're kind. It's not true.
You're both a bit humble.
I know. Jeff, I loved your Super Bowl coverage. I love the Super Bowl coverage. And I feel like one of the little kids, you know, that you bundle up before you send them out to the bus stop and, you know, you can hardly move. You have so many layers on. But it's worth it. It is cold here, but it has been beautiful. And I have to tell you, the people have been tremendous. So gracious and hospitable. I believe it's going to be a fantastic Winter Games.
Well, Cheryl, we really have been enjoyed watching you and following you on Twitter and also Facebook. If any of our viewers right now are saying, you know, I'd like to see more of her work, you really get some incredible insight into the DMZ and our troops, and it really is so insightful, all of the great information that you're able to garner in South Korea.
Somehow you're not just covering the athletic angle, but you're covering the whole news story about it as well.
Absolutely fabulous. Well, continue good health and continue good reporting. Good.
Okay.
All right. We will
All
check
right,
in
thanks.
with you
We'll see
later.
you a little bit later.
All right, 11 Alive is your, yes.
I was just saying, as you can tell, we'd like to continue to talk about this, but we have the wrap going on.
Okay, all right, let's wrap it up. 11 Alive is your go-to resource for the Olympic Games. You can check out everything from the results to event schedules on 11alive.com/Olympics. And you can look for the link to this special section on our homepage.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It has been a beautiful day out there. We have dry conditions. We had a lot of sunshine. Temperatures moved up into the upper 50s right now up in Athens. Things are looking great as we have dry conditions there compared to this time yesterday when the roads were wet and we still had a few light showers that were lingering as they were moving on out. We got a new drought monitor update in today, but as I show you this, I want you to know that this might be a little misleading because this information was compiled on Tuesday and then released today. So what you're seeing on this drought information and the new drought monitor update, it does not include the more than an inch and a half of rain that we had yesterday. So this drought monitor is showing still severe drought over parts of northwest Georgia, moderate drought from Atlanta, roughly along the I-85 corridor north and west, and then abnormally dry conditions to the east. Now I think once that they include yesterday's rain and the rain that's coming in this weekend, it's going to be wiping out a lot of those drought conditions around. Now, another good bit of news is that Lake Lanier now is the highest that it's been since 2016. Today's level is at 1067.92. Full pool is at 1071, and in 2016 it was 1070.79. That's the last time that we've been that close to that. And I think that we'll be adding more water to the lake this weekend as more rain, substantial rain, is moving our way. We'll talk more about that at the bottom of the hour.
Thank you, Chris. This weekend, a local couple celebrates 7 decades of love.
Amazing.
John and Betty Moore will mark their 70th anniversary on Saturday. It is a love that first bloomed at the FBI. 11 Alive's Liza Lucas sits down with the couple from Snellville to share a few of their secrets to a happy relationship.
He was always talking to me. He probably didn't realize it.
I probably didn't.
It was an office romance that brought Betty and John Maurer together. The year was 1947.
I wrote a letter to J. Edgar Hoover telling him that I'd like a job with the FBI.
The Navy veteran was soon packing his bags for the Bureau, getting a college degree in order to become an agent, finding out the FBI would hold another key to his future.
My girlfriend and I were sitting, and I said, you know, see that guy over there? I'm going to marry him someday.
The pair worked alongside one another, John in the fraud department, Betty as a secretary. The Maurers making it official on February 10th, 1948.
Have 3 daughters, 7 grandchildren, a nice big family. And the FBI's always been our life.
The intensity of Bureau life sealing their bond.
Being transferred to different cities, making new friends in every office. Hundreds of cases.
Their secrets for lifelong love, shared work passion, long walks, laughter, church, and the 3 Gs.
The word give, give in, and forgive. And I think those 3 gives are very, very important.
Plus, keeping each other on their toes.
And working. What are you trying to do? Tell me to hurry? You know?
70 years is a long time.
It is a long time.
A long time.
Liza Lucas, 11 Alive News.
Wow, they look great, don't they?
They do.
What a great
really
story.
Inspiring.
Yeah. Each year, hundreds of crashes are blamed on drivers who are sleepy. But a new study shows the problem may be much, much worse than any of us thought. How it's putting your safety at risk, coming up.